breaking free of what felt like a paralyzed state, a state that I didn't know I was going to get out of.
A lot of the songs on Pastime seem to be connected by desperation, but when I talk to you, you're a joyful person.
Yeah, that's what everyone is saying.
Yeah.
All the interviews are like, I didn't think you were going to be smiling. You know, everyone thinks, I don't know what they think I'm going to be like. What would this television interview have been like? What were you expecting me to be?
No, I already knew a bit that you weren't like that.
Oh, okay, okay.
Of what I saw and read, but is it a good way to get things out of your system?
Yeah. Yeah, and before I did a lot of work on this record, kind of in between, not necessarily when Gowns broke up, but in between kind of going on the last European and UK tour, and when we broke up, I was in a very low place for a while. And I didn't know if I wanted to do music anymore, or I just like kind of almost like exiled myself to West Oakland, which is kind of a crazy neighborhood. So I just kind of lived, I didn't go out hardly, I would just go on walks around this really like decaying, dangerous, trashed neighborhood. And I just did that for like, I had to do that for a while. And then right before this record came out, I didn't have a record deal or anything, and I was done. I was like, I'm moving back to South Dakota with my parents. I said I'm going to move back in, and I felt like I had failed, and I felt like I didn't have anything else, and I didn't want to play anymore. And then Krista from the label got a hold of me, and she had been in touch with me before for Gown stuff, and she said basically that week, she said, do you have any solo stuff? And I thought, do I want to do this? It took me a second. I mean, I said yes, but there was a second where I was like, I don't know if I want to be done, But so, a lot of the songs I write about them to get rid of sometimes a sense of paralysis. Like the songs that I'm most emotionally attached to, both in Gowns, which was White Like Heaven, and this project, California, was about breaking free of what felt like a paralyzed state, a state that I didn't know I was going to get out of, but then kind of once I wrote it, I feel like I could move again.
And California is like a cornerstone song then, or?
Yeah.
Can you describe in short what the song is about and what it represents?
In short, there's so much. It's about kind of moving from South Dakota to California. There's different parts of it. Parts of California are about boys, and I say, saying fuck you. Another part, the people who the record are named after are my friends from back home, Stephen and Andrew. And I remember once visiting them from California, and I was going to fly back the next day. And just remember giving Andrew a hug, and he hugged me, and he was kind of emotional. He said, "Oh, one of these days I'll make it out there." He said, "I've never seen the ocean. I still haven't been on a plane," and that just really like stuck with me. Just the difference of the people that I left behind, who I love, and then also this new life that I needed to try and become an artist or just do something. So it's kind of the tension between those things. There's a lot of it. And just homesteading, feeling like I'm homesteading, going out to California to just try and better my situation, but then also, feeling like lots of people go to California and then there's so much stuff. It's great, and then sometimes it's, I don't know. There's a dark side too.
Is there a good balance now? Is there a good balance now? Between the two things that you talked about now?
Between the being like the home people from home and the. I think so. I mean, the people in my band I chose they're like all from the Midwest, North Dakota, South Dakota, and Minnesota. But you know the story is kind of just like the classic hero's story, I guess. You know, which is like, you know, think like Odysseus or somebody like leaving home and going on all these crazy adventures, and still trying to balance like the home that's in your heart with like all these things that you needed to do to become a person.
I want to go back to when you got this call if you had some solo material.
When I got the
you got the call for do you have some solo stuff? You said yes.
I did have yes.
You did have some lying around.
Yeah, like some of the songs are very old. Marked, for example, is very old. Butterfly Knife is very old. I had stuff laying around.
But at that moment, you could choose which direction you wanted to take it in. Did you sit down and think to yourself, well, now I've got this chance, let's make it worthwhile?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess I did because I'm here, right?
But what was the aim you had then at that moment?
A friend had been talking to me about, you know, he had been encouraging me to keep going, keep doing music, and he said, you know, you have to do it. It's about redemption. You know, it's like about everything that you worked for. Yeah, I just I felt like I wanted one more chance to do things. Like I didn't want it to end just like that.
Mm-hmm. And now, what song are you most proud of?
Well, I think I'm most proud of California because it's weird. It's like it seems like the most like a new sound of something, like doesn't sound like other things. But my favorite song to listen to on the record is Red Star, which is the last one. It was recorded all live with the band, like all in one room, and my little sister's singing some harmonies and stuff, so that's kind of my favorite one.
The magic song.
The what?
The magic song at the end.
Yeah, the magic song at the end.
And the Robert Johnson cover is also, well, for us to listen to a 17-minute song, that's quite a thing.
Yeah.
For our generation, I'm talking.
That's true. Yeah, it was quite a thing to make. Oh my God.
How did you pull it off?
What?
How did you pull it off?
I don't even know if I did. I haven't even listened to the final version. I tried so many. That was the hardest thing for me to do. That was the thing that almost made me want to quit music, besides the gowns imploding. But that was. That's the one I say when I think about like Herzog making his movie where he's trying to pull the actual boat up the actual mountain in the Amazon, and everyone's like, "You're crazy." And that's how I felt like I was trying to do. I was trying to make like a major motion picture, Hollywood motion picture on like an indie budget, you know, because I was just trying to do this thing. I was like, I want to make a symphony of guitars, and I want to make it, you know, all these tracks and all this blah, blah, blah. And then I was, like trying to mix it on a laptop in my bedroom, you know, with, and that's just, yeah, I had very grand plans, and I think it was a little overambitious. It kind of broke my heart to work on that, to be honest.
But you still made it to the end.
Yeah, I took a break. I was like, fuck this whole project. But yeah, I guess I did. But I don't think I have it in me to do. I learned a lesson. I'm like, I'm never doing that again. I'm never doing that again.
Is it possible to play that song on stage?
Yeah, I played it. I did it with my sister and Aaron, who are two of the members of this band. We put it together and played it opening for Throbbing Gristle when they toured the U.S. And it was cool. I think what's funny, this is like kind of a secret or whatever. I think they were like kind of snobby about it. They were like, oh, what is this sort of? I think they wanted something that sounded exactly like them, and that was one of those things too where I get so sick of like experimental people. You're like, really? You have rules? Like that's your rule? I can't believe you have rules. I'm like, am I pissing off like one of the most like bands that try to piss everyone off in the world? You know, like they were always so controversial, and now they're pissed off at me. I'm kind of like, yes. I think it's great. At the time, I was like, oh my god, I can't believe that. They didn't like because there was real drums. They didn't even hear, they saw the live drums. I'm like, I didn't know that there are rules in experimental music. Like, why? And so.
Perhaps they're afraid of you, being the younger generation taking over their territory.
I don't know. Maybe it could be. I try not to be scared ever. I see sometimes when I see young kids, it's weird. I'm like, don't know what they're doing, but it's. Younger generation's always going to break the rules, so it's good, because then it's like anything that you think is forbidden, somebody's going to come along and do. Like people that are making music now that sounds like Steely Dan or something, which is like, or like, there was a time when you reference anything in the 80s and it's just like, verboten. But now, it's good, rules are made to be broken. You don't even know there's a rule, and then someone comes along and breaks it, and it's like, it's great.
Do you feel like you did something like that? Break a rule that perhaps people didn't know was there? Or combine things that...
Yeah, I felt like within the experimental scene, it was interesting because I think when Gowns first started, it was kind of like I didn't realize that there were so many rules within like an experimental or like noise community, but there was some people that were like, didn't like us because I was singing, or like didn't like because you could hear the lyrics or whatever, which is crazy. And I found that especially when I worked on the thing like the Robert Johnson song, because I made all these songs that were kind of like in between American traditional folk and noise and feedback, and trying to deconstruct all these traditional songs and put them in a context of modern technology. And people would get it and be like, the noise labels would say, what's all this singing? Like, oh, there's this, it's too pretty to be a noise thing. And then like if I try to give it to a folk label, they're like, can you make an edit of this 17-minute song? Like, can you make like a 5-minute version? I'm like, you're missing the point. Like, no, I won't do it. So yeah, I like doing that. I like, especially with, on the record, I try and do that kind of like with California. I wanted to make like something that sounded like West Coast hip hop. And that seemed like a big rule. It's important for myself personally. If I see something that when I record something, sometimes I'm like, I can't do that. I think it's a good reaction. I think it's like, if you feel that within yourself that you're not sure, I've learned that those are the most interesting pieces, I think, that you can make.
And now you are sitting here and you're playing Amsterdam tonight.
Yeah.
And what will the rest of the summer bring?
Oh. I would like to go fishing with my grandpa. That's what I would like to do. I don't know if I'll get a chance, but I want to go back to I would like to go back to the Midwest and go fishing and play some songs on the jukebox.
How long haven't you been there then?
I was there in Christmas, so it's not, I go back often, but it's beautiful in the summer. In the Christmas, it was so cold. It's awful. We tried to go ice fishing. Didn't catch anything. It was freezing. My dad had got an ice auger for Christmas, and he was drunk, like drilling holes in this lake, and I was like, oh, we're gonna fall through. But I think I'm touring a lot. So hopefully in between there I can go and catch some fish.
Catch some fish.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Yes. Okay,
All right.
so are we cool?
Yeah, we're cool.
I wanted to say can I say one more thing
Yeah.
about, So I was very excited when I came to Amsterdam today because I remembered something clicked with me back before Gowns was when I was still doing Gowns. We went and saw at the Museum of Modern Art, New York, a exhibit on the Dutch conceptualists and like Bas van Adder. Do you know the conceptual artist?
I don't.
Okay, well they were amazing. That's what I felt like. That's what I felt like that band was like, more like almost like a conceptual performance art piece where somebody's falling off a roof, more than it was like a rock band.
And
so thank you, Netherlands.
And what are you then? Van Gogh or something?
What? What?
Van Gogh?
No, I don't know what I would. Someone more obsessive. I don't know, maybe Van Gogh, we'll see.
He was quite obsessed.
I still have both ears, so. All right.
We zijn klaar. Ja.
Do
Do you want to do a song?